Good evening and welcome to our Friday edition of News Geelong. Our feature story tonight surrounds the once booming central business district of our great city. From the world of sport, our flying hawk Nathan Curry speaks with Geelong Cricket Club coach Damien Shanahan about the club's chances in its match against Footscray Edgewater. And from the weather world, sparkling Lani Salathiel will update us on the coming days of Geelong and district weather. The central business district of Geelong, located around Moorabool and Ryrie streets, is struggling to be the once upon a time jewel in the Geelong crown, as Ian Nichols reports.
This intersection used to be the busiest in the heart of Geelong. It was the heart of Geelong, Ryrie and Moorabool streets. Today, on three corners, we have Felice. It has become a problem for council to deal with as the waterfront has become so popular, retail has moved down to the waterfront.
We have traders there who really want to keep business going in Geelong. 9%, yes, it is high, but compared to world figures, and we're looking at world figures all the time, we are on average.
I think one of the telling factors with regards to some of the criticism that's been levelled at the city is the fact that there are empty shops. Well, there are empty shops in every precinct, in every town throughout the world. There are very many reasons for empty shops. In Geelong's case, I strongly believe that it directly relates to the rents or the leases that are being charged by people who own property. And I think secondly, the important reason, one of the other important reasons, is that shops are not being done up or refurbished to accommodate successful businesses.
We know there's been a terrific success story with Geelong's waterfront, and it's probably come at the expense of the city central, but you're working on it feverishly at the moment.
We're working to make sure that all the community understand that, yes, some of the retail has certainly moved towards the waterfront, where Geelong has discovered that and the rest of the world's discovered it after the UCI. But clearly what we need to do is work with the Chamber of Commerce, our retailers, our people who own property in our central activities area, and make sure that we can revitalise and find a new niche for the markets that we believe are really important for Geelong to grow as a city.
There are very many partners in this. It's a dual responsibility, constituents as well as the commercial heart, as well as the retail area, as well as the Gordon, Deakin University. The CEO has clearly articulated the desire to ensure that we get all views, but we all share a responsibility.
We're looking at how we can learn from other regional areas, from international cities as well. We're looking at the great cities around the world, and the Chamber of Commerce is collaborating with many different groups in Geelong, and we're all, I guess, combining our thoughts and ideas and looking at all of those different models around the world, around Australia, to see what we can learn and what we can really pick up from that and use in Geelong, because we believe that that's really important as well. Not just Band-Aid solutions, but really looking at what does work, what makes a vibrant city, and it's really about really looking forward in that way.
Well, maybe the CEO has a view on whether perhaps we might see more residential development, inner city living, as is the case in Melbourne and other regional cities around Australia.
I think that's always a possibility, and we'd always encourage developers to do that. We see that as the next stage of our maturing of a city. I suppose we saw in Melbourne the postcode 3000 effort, where the Melbourne City Council encouraged people to come back into the city. And again today we've been reflecting on what the city used to look like. People used to do their grocery shopping, they used to do the things that we now see in our suburban areas and our Warren Ponds and out at Corio Village. So the change now is that people do want to live in the city. The transport options are there, the vitality, the entertainment will be in the city, so people will naturally be attracted to it. So we as a council will encourage it. We just need the developers to come on board and to make sure that the conditions are right for them to invest in the city, which is part of our role, and we'll certainly take up the challenge with that.
We have always been, and I know that the city has been working on projects for the residential aspect, but once again it is owners developing what they currently have or looking to develop new sites. We need a population of probably a minimum of 5,000 people living within the central activity area to then make sure that the place is vibrant, that there are people moving around all the time, that cafes and restaurants are open, so other people can then come into town and there's a reason to come into town.
In what could be a rejuvenated area of Geelong's central city, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you very much, Ian. Geelong Hospital cardiac pharmacist Ward Birdsey has been named a 2010 recipient of the Australian Clinical Pharmacy Award, as Debbie Meaney reports.
At the Australian Clinical Pharmacy Awards held recently, Garth Birdsey from Barwon Health recently took out one of these awards. I caught up with Garth at Barwon Health to tell us about it. Garth, congratulations on this award.
Thank you very much. It's kind of you.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you got to receive this award?
The Clinical Pharmacy Award is awarded to individual hospital pharmacists in Australia in recognition of their work, their specialisation, and for me it's in cardiology, and for their involvement in teaching. And I'm heavily involved in teaching pharmacy students as well as medical students. So I've been teaching for sort of 15 years. So it's recognition of the specialisation, but also putting stuff back into our profession through teaching.
And what do you plan to do in the future here at Barwon Health?
I'm just going to continue being the pharmacist for cardiac services and being involved in the teaching of pharmacy students and medical students with the new School of Medicine with Deakin. That's my plans from here on until I quit.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
This is Debbie Meaney at Barwon Health for News Geelong.
Thank you, Debbie, and congratulations, Ward. Saving lives with a chef's knife rather than a surgeon's scalpel has led Geelong chef Sarah Kelsall to developing her pro-heart cooking demonstrations. Debbie Meaney reports.
Cooking and eating healthily is close to chef Sarah Kelsall's heart after the early and recent sudden death of her father. I caught up with Sarah to tell us about her ambitious plan. So Sarah, this is a great idea. Tell me about it.
So the idea was inspired, I guess, my father passed away of a heart attack when he was 52, and I wanted to do something fairly proactive and change the eating habits of people in the community, targeting those heart attack victims or people at risk of having heart attacks, and it's extended now to basically anyone who wants to change their diet from a young age to prevent going down that path in the future.
And apart from cooking demonstrations, what else is on offer?
There's different products. I've got dietitians coming to speak at the event, GPs talking from a medical perspective, and just a few encounters that people have had, personal, encounters that they can bring to the table and, show the real importance of eating healthy and trying to save your lives as well as your family and others around you.
This is Debbie Meaney in Geelong for News Geelong.
Thank you very much, Debbie. This is News Geelong as we go to a break and return with more news after this.